and she's got a very interesting hobby. And I'm going to let Lloyd do the introductions here this morning.
All right. Well, joining us on the phone is Caitlin Abrams, known on TikTok as Manic Pixie Mom. Good morning, Caitlin. Thanks for joining us and taking some time from your schedule.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Sure thing. So Caitlin will be at the Atlanta Public Library this Saturday, August 27th at 6:30 p.m. And I've tried to describe it several times, and I can't really do it justice. So, Caitlin, if you wouldn't mind telling our listeners exactly what it is you do and what this little hobby of yours is.
Sure, of course. So I basically clean graves, and I share stories about the people who own those graves. And I started a couple years ago posting them on TikTok, so they're basically just quick 1 to 3 minute videos where I clean a person's grave and do a voiceover where I tell what I found about that person using genealogical resources and old newspaper articles.
Okay, so how do you decide whose grave you're going to highlight, and how do you find out the information about those individuals?
Sure. So I usually will clean the grave first, and then I go home and do a little bit of digging. And I kind of just pick and choose which ones I want to share, especially if I find something interesting. But a lot of times I just kind of walk through the person's family and what they might have achieved in their life or what their family might have done. And I find all that out using just regular online genealogical resources like MyHeritage, Family Search, Ancestry, along with old newspapers, which are my favorite part.
Okay, very good. And we have, as we mentioned, we have Juliana and Christina from the Atlanta Public Library here with us. Ladies, anything you want to particularly make sure we mention about Caitlin's appearance? What is the event going to be like on Saturday? Is it going to be a formal presentation or question and answer, or how will that work?
So kind of both. She's going to do a presentation, and then she'll have a brief time for question and answers. Okay.
And if people are interested in attending that event, how would they would do so? It's a free event, but tickets are required?
Yeah, so we need to stick with fire code. So we're only allowed so many people in our building. So we have tickets available to get. They are free. You can go to eventbrite.com, search us, Atlanta Public Library, just Atlanta, Illinois. It'll come up. You can go to our Facebook. The event is on our Facebook, and we can, all the details and everything are there. So yeah, just go get a ticket. We already have almost about 80 taken, and we can only do 120 in our building. So if you want to, make sure to get your ticket. Tickets close Thursday, so you only got a couple days left.
All right. So, Caitlin, for folks who will be attending, without spoiling what you're going to do, can you kind of tell us what the presentation's about, or what kinds of things you'll be sharing with your audience?
No idea. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about my background and talking about how I came to TikTok. I'm going to be sharing some of my favorite stories, some stories that have stuck with me, and I'll share the thing that everybody likes the most, which is some before and after pictures of graves that I've cleaned.
Okay. So how exactly did you get into this?
So I have been into genealogy and family history for as long as I can remember. I'm born and raised in New England, Maine specifically, so there are cemeteries everywhere, and I have been in them since I was a child. I am a volunteer for the website Find a Grave, which is basically social media for cemeteries, and people can request photos of graves of their ancestors if they don't live near where the grave is. So a woman in Iowa actually asked the Find a Grave community to take a picture of a grave that was close to me. And I took a picture of it, and it was pretty covered in lichen, pretty dirty, and she asked if I'd consider cleaning it, and I started doing the research of how I would do that. I wanted to make sure I did it correctly, and it was winter time, so I couldn't clean, because you can only clean when it's warm out, which in Vermont is, 2 months out of the year. And so I got started doing it. I really enjoyed it, and then I just kind of ran with it from there.
Okay, and how long have you been doing this? When did you actually do your first grave cleaning?
I cleaned my first in May of 2020, so right in the middle of the first big lockdown for the COVID pandemic, when my kids were home, so it was hard to fit it in. But so I guess it's been about 2 years.
And then how did you decide to share this with social media? What did you say, hey, this is going to be, I think this might be a neat thing to share on TikTok?
Well, I originally started sharing on Instagram. TikTok, I didn't want to, invade the space of the youth, so I was using Instagram and sharing some information about New England gravestone symbolism, and I was doing a little bit of researching stories, but I found it was hard to type it all out. My background is in software training, so I'm used to using my voice, and the quick format of TikTok really appealed to me. And on top of that, I also had seen a couple other grave cleaners that had shared on YouTube and also on TikTok. So I thought, I'll jump in. I did not expect it to get as popular as it did.
It certainly has taken off. So once again, we're talking with Caitlin Abrams, who will be at the Atlanta Public Library, actually at Union Hall in Atlanta on Saturday, this coming Saturday, August 27th at 6:30, giving a presentation about her hobby of grave cleaning. Caitlin, I'm curious, do you have people who have seen your social media and seen some of the things you've done and said, hey, will you go check on this relative of mine, or will you do a little genealogical research for me? Do you take requests, I guess is what I'm asking?
Yes, I have had quite a few requests, especially for grave cleaning. I actually just received a written letter in the mail asking if I would consider cleaning a grave that's maybe an hour from me. And it's hard. I have 2 kids, and I also have a day job, so I'm fitting it all in, and traveling is a little bit difficult. But I have cleaned a couple for people that requested that were close enough that it made sense.
Any thoughts of doing the Atlanta cemetery when you're in town?
I would love it if I could bring all my stuff. I don't know that the TSA would let me bring all my brushes and all the splinters.
Do you have a favorite, like epitaph or something about a certain site or gravestone that you have a favorite or anything?
I really like a particular New England gravestone carver. Everyone has their favorite New England gravestone carver, and mine is a man named Zerubbabel Collins, and he would do really ornate faces with wings, and they're very distinctive. So every time I see one of his, I get excited, especially if it's far away from where he was from. And then I really like the late Puritan epitaphs that are very much like, hey, everyone, remember you're going to die. Look at where I am. You're going to be here, and you probably should deal with that.
I told you I was sick. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, hey, I'm dead. You're going to be dead too, so get ready.
So what is your cleaning method? How do you clean these gravestones?
So there is a solution that is designed specifically for this purpose. It's called D2 Biological Solution. It has been tested by federal groups, by other preservation groups. So it is very gentle, it's very mild, and it doesn't actually do harm to the stone. And it is the gold standard. There's no kind of quick way to do this or kind of an easy method around it. You have to get this solution. It is the gold standard. And it actually is what's used at Arlington National Cemetery in D.C. So I use a lot of water, and I use the D2. I spray the D2, and along with the water, I use soft brushes to kind of gently agitate the surface, assuming the stone isn't incredibly damaged. If it is, I might just spray the D2 and walk away. But if it can handle it, I'll scrub it very gently, rinse, and then I just wait. Sometimes I rinse, and it doesn't look all that different. It doesn't look that much better, but the D2 soaks into the stone, and over days, weeks, months, sometimes even a year, it will gradually brighten up the stone and clean away the moss and lichen.
So this isn't something that just takes a couple hours and you're good to go.
Right, exactly. So the cleaning itself takes it's probably about a half hour. That's usually about how long I take. And then it's not really like any other cleaning because the gratification is so delayed.
Right.
And that was kind of one of the things that appealed to me was that it was kind of outside of my comfort zone. I'm a little more high-strung strong and a little more, I want to see immediate results. So it's really fun to be able to go back and kind of visit each grave and see how far it's come.
Cool.
Very good. Ladies, can you want to give our listeners any information? I mean, obviously, Caitlin's going to be there. What I've seen the name Union Hall, but I'm not actually sure what it is. Is it a concert hall in the middle of Atlanta, or what exactly is the facility where the presentation will take place?
So we also refer to it as like the ballroom. It's it used to be the Masonic Lodge way back when. We rent it out, so like you can have weddings there, bridal showers, birthday parties, but it's our biggest space. We can't fit 120 people into the library building, but we can fit 120 people into Union Hall. It's actually also referred to as, I guess, the Downey Building, which is one of the oldest buildings in Atlanta.
Very cool.
So how did you find out about Caitlin and her hobby? Were you a TikTok follower?
Yeah, so
we're like chronically online, probably.
The fact that Caitlin said yes to coming is like huge. So I did it without kind of Christina knowing. I just kind of told her, or she was like, "Hey, why don't you ask her?" And I was like,
it'd be so cool, not thinking.
And then I actually asked her, and then Caitlin's assistant Candace was like, "Yeah, she's interested." And I called her at like 10 or 11 o'clock at night when she responded to me, and I was like, "Christina, you won't believe this."
I was like, she said no, right?
Nope, she's interested. So it's been kind of a long process, so many emails back and forth trying to figure this all out. This is all grant money that we're using, so we're very, very thankful for the ALA, American Library Association, to give us this grant money to put on programs like these and like the other ones we've had recently. So we're very excited for her to come.
So, Caitlin, do you do a lot of these kinds of presentations around the country, or is this one of the few?
This is one of the first that I'm traveling for. I did do kind of a similar idea of presentation for my alma mater, Beloit College, which is a little bit north of you guys. But other than that, I've talked to a couple of high school classes. There was a high school teacher in New Hampshire who actually modeled a project after what I do on TikTok, so I got to talk to those kids and kind of walk them through my process and answer their questions. But this is my first time traveling to one, so I'm really excited, and I'm glad you guys asked.
You're traveling from where all the way just to get to Atlanta, Illinois?
Yeah, so I've got to, I know that, Atlanta's a small town. I'm from a small town, so I got to drive an hour and a half to the airport, which I'm assuming that you all are familiar with. But direct flight from Albany to O'Hare, so I'm good there.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so Caitlin Abrams will be in Atlanta, Union Hall, as we mentioned, Saturday evening at 6:30. Tickets available through Eventbrite. If you have questions about the presentation or need more information, you can give these ladies who are in our studio a call at the library, which I don't have the number of, but I'm sure you know it.
217-648-2112.
Okay, very good. Caitlin, what does the future hold? I mean, you've done all these TikTok videos, which are just by nature kind of short in length. Will there be a feature film coming out, or maybe a compilation where you look at like an entire family, or maybe an entire, I don't know, Civil War Army platoon, or anything in the future in the works that you're thinking about?
I mean, I love those ideas. I'm just going to steal them. I hope that's okay.
That's fine. Just send a royalty check to WLCN.
That's right.
I have a couple ideas. I would love to look at more long form things. I don't know if that would look like a book or something else, because I'm sort of limited by the minute to 3 minute limit on TikTok. That I can't really share everything that I'd like to share, and so I would like to kind of scout out ways to do that. And honestly, if there are any major film studios that are listening to this, like, give me a call, because we'll work something out.
Well, I'm sure they're all tuned into the radio station in
a lot
Atlanta,
of connections,
Illinois.
Yeah.
I think Mabel the cat was listening wherever she wandered to, so maybe she can hook you up.
Man, I got her? Wow.
Well, Caitlin, we certainly appreciate you taking some time out to talk to us, and we look forward to seeing you. What's the date again?
This Saturday, so it's the 27th.
27th?
27th, 6:30 p.m. at Union Hall in Atlanta. Caitlin Abrams will be presenting part of the Summer Speaker Series at the Atlanta Public Library and Museum. So, Caitlin, thanks for joining us. Ladies, any parting words?
Come on out. It'll be super fun.
And get your tickets online at eventbrite.com. So.
Thanks, Caitlin.
Thank you for
We'll see you
having me.
Saturday.
Yes, I'm excited.